Alrighty, welcome back to the Cryptic Kabal Monday, Tuesday Terror Season 2, Session 54, a surprise. However, before we get into it, we're gonna go wrap back around for what happened last time, and that was a hell of a lot. The party found themselves finally confronting the Aboleth horde as well as the giant alligator-like god creature that seemed to have some weird aberrational effects going on with it. Unfortunately, having been stabbed by multiple items and having been damaged multitudes of times, the creature seemed to have some ill effects when it came to its magical abilities as well as those of the party. However, as the party managed to, well, let's say, tear down the creatures the best they could, killing each one, and slowly managing to either drive the Aboleth Hive off or killing those that had decided to attack them. As the party managed to pretty much destroy the Aboleths, with Nara chasing down the last that had tried to escape, we pretty much ended at the end of combat there last session as the party was coming back together. Now, normally we were going to go do a bit of downtime and go to the next session. However, the DM forgot until literally today to write the session, and so we're not doing that. And Wara's out, so hey, we're gonna have an easier session today. Also, it's like 90 degrees, and the DM is currently already soaked in sweat, which I've only had the window closed for like 2 minutes. Oh, who has the heater on downstairs? Jesus Christ. Yes, so we were returned back to the last year known as 65,008, an unknown month and an unknown day. Current time spent in Moors around 5 weeks and 3 days. We return back to post-fight, as the party, having just finished up killing the last of the creatures, tearing them up, gather back together, the wheels having been put on the wagons, and Wara having collected up the majority of the Aboleth corpses that he could gather in his bag, as well as into the cart. To which that number is still unknown because Wara never answered or told me. We're just going to say all of them, and somehow we're going to come up with a way that Wara was able to store all of these. And we've heard prison pockets are great for tentacle porn. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Nora.
Anytime I wish.
But
That prison it's gonna be a little loose by the.
it is with that many. There was like 111, I think, of them that you guys killed at the end of it or something like that. Like, Jesus.
Ooh, Nelly.
But yes, so having kind of put them away, stored what he could, and kind of not having dissected them, as Wara had decided to instead hold on to them to either sell whole or to let Vigorette choose the best parts, understandably so. We returned back to the party having found the horde where the hive had been circling from those merchants, seeing the massive horde that they have kind of laying about, gemstones, items, all sorts of things, kind of tossed around in a large pile. The few merchant corpses that you were expecting to be there long since devoured, unfortunately not leaving nothing but a few bones here and there that seem to be broken or chewed upon to almost a point of not really recognizing them. But as you kind of head over towards the pile of items, seeing the magic weapons themselves, yeah, you do see a massive pile of gemstones as well as the unholy and holy great swords kind of sticking out of the top of the pile, pointing to either side, both with their names seemingly shifting from an ancient-looking runic language of some sort that shifts away too quickly to get a real eye on it. But they immediately in common begin to read Sin's Wail and Stone's Forgiveness. In between the two great swords, you also see a legendary-looking frying pan. How does it look legendary? Well, I'm glad you asked. Most frying pans are a solid piece of metal. This one is not only coated in gemstones, but each gemstone, as you can see, has little pearls that seem to be kind of dotted inside that move almost freely as you kind of walk on the pile of gemstones and coins. As the little pearls move, they seem to glitter with magic, and it's not hard to tell immediately that this this frying pan itself seems to be highly intoxicated with mana. So much so that the two great swords seem to be being repelled away from it.
My God, look at the seasoning on that thing.
I gotta stroke the wizardly beard for a moment. It's like, I know just the person. I like kind of like whisk it over. As like, this will be a great souvenir from me.
As you wisp it over the item, kind of looking into it, you see the face symbolism kind of painted inside of it, where the spices seem to have perfectly kind of nudged themselves into what looks to be the painted vials of this, basically these individuals holding these spices. As you kind of start to move it about, it perfectly shakes out the seasoning evenly across the entire thing and refills the edges once more with fresh seasoning.
Nice to meet you. I think you will be used to make soup eventually.
A frying pan to make soup? What?
Don't look at me. It's a magic fucking item.
I will say, Floor Step, as soon as you do, are you touching it, or are you just going to keep holding it with telekinesis, to be very clear?
Well, I have a firm no-touch random magic items.
All right.
Obviously, especially in hell.
Oh, I'll do it.
Zerus, you want to grab it?
You want to get cursed, Zerus? You want to get cursed?
Yeah,
Right now?
I'll
In
get
real time? Right in
I'll
front of
get
me?
cursed by the frying pan. I'll do it.
No.
Man,
Floor
that's
Snap
fucked.
looks over and sees Zerus kind of looking at him, licking his lips like he's about to steal the magic item from him.
I would never steal from my own party members.
Especially one that could literally throw you
Not
thousands
twice.
of miles away. No, I understand. Yeah, as you look at, though, kind of Zerus' eyes a little bit greedy towards it, the sense of interest, his fingers slightly wiggling as he looks at it, ready to take hold of the item at a moment's notice. But what else would you like to, or what would you like to do with the frying pan? Are you just gonna put in your bag of holding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
What's in your bag of holding?
That's not the
Not
thing you want to hear.
Really, anything, come to think of it.
Huh?
I'm not holding anything. I have nothing.
Perfect. Because as you put this thing into your bag of holding, you watch and can feel almost the arcane shift. All three of you give me a spellcraft check, please.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't worry, it's not the cursed treasure hoard dragon again, I promise.
I
mean, I guess at least I have a +3, but still, I don't expect anything out of this.
You
you
got
have a
this.
+3? That's 3 more than I have.
No,
The really
solid.
good thing is that I usually put my orbs in it whenever I'm not using them, but I have just finished using them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason
16.
they wouldn't be in it, or they would be in it right now.
Okay. You know, hey, that's a good thing then. 16, alright.
22.
22.
I rolled like ass.
6.
No, Nara's
God damn it!
Nara's more interested in the two great swords up on the pile. They're kind of still sitting there, glimmering with their magic. But
I
go ahead.
think I just now walked back up after finishing eating the aboleth that I was eating.
The one you were chewing on, that you brought back as you were chewing on it as you were walking. Yeah.
You like walk up, like still picky your teeth, like, hey, sick frying pan. Thunk.
Yeah, Azurus and Floorsnap, both of you notice an arcane shift immediately as the bag begins to widen. The symbolism of runes begin to shift and almost malform themselves into a new shape as they bend, and you can hear the crackling kind of coming off it. Floorsnap, you actually feel the physical crackling of magic around you. It's like almost like a little bit of an electrical jolt, slightly, as if someone was trying to zap you with after rubbing their feet on the floor really fast.
Magic's got stain to it.
And as it does this each time, you kind of begin to notice, looking down, the spell. You don't recognize the spell itself, but you do recognize the school Floorsnap. Give me a moment to find my note of this. I didn't think you were going to shove it into a bag of holding. I won't lie.
You have trained me every waking moment of every one of these campaigns to not touch magic items
Oh, I
that
know.
we find in loot.
I know. I just didn't think you'd put it in the bag of holding.
Well, I can't put it in Wara's prison wallet. That thing's full to capacity.
That's true. You aren't wrong. let me find my thingy here.
Actually, Wara's box is gone. We used it as a weapon.
That's true.
That's not
The
his
box that
prison
was filled
pocket.
with dragon acid.
So not only did we destroy Wara's box, but his prison wallet is now full to capacity.
Yes, correct. Ah, yes.
Well,
You do sense this as transmutation.
We are really pounding that pussy, huh?
Yep. As he, or as you know, or feel the magic going off, the spell seems to finally come to a stop as you see two glowing red magical circles on the top and bottom of the bag begin to kind of almost figmentally appear. Some of the runes you recognize with your deep speech, although it's too broken or dark speech, sorry, as it's too broken as you look at it for a quick moment. It seems to appear, and almost like a scan goes down and across your bag of holding as you see it changes, growing into this larger, more orangish brown and weathered looking bag, the symbol of a spice leaf on it, as you look down and see that your bag of holding has now changed to a bag of spices. Doubles your inventory list. You can put any raw or cooked ingredients inside of it, and it will perfectly season them to what you ask for it. Only downside, it does the same thing to any metallic items you also put in there. Which I don't think I need to explain to you why seasoning on metal items could be very bad. In many different situations, because you do not need to you don't want to salsify, of course, your enemy. You also don't want to rust your weapons. But, good.
My
Correct me
blade
if I'm
covered in
wrong.
cayenne pepper.
well, that's exactly what I was about to do. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the solarium, or what the fuck is the
Alarm,
this
yeah, you're right.
Well, no, what I have isn't solarium. It's very
Sunstone?
similar. Sunstone. There we go. Sunstone. I think doesn't rust.
No. So, but you would get goat kicked on it, basically.
Well, it does that anyway by virtue of being punched holes through giant monsters.
That's true.
And that would
I've
be
now
seasoned.
unlocked a new level of sadism. We will now be putting cayenne pepper on the fucking orb.
Yeah!
Heard of squirting lemon in the
Yeah!
lemon or tossing salt on it? Now enjoy cayenne balls to the face.
Cayenne balls. I cast cayenne ball.
But yeah, so for your own notes for your bag of holding, you can double up whatever the base weight is for it. And it can increase, or it will expand to whatever size the material is you're sticking into it. Only downside, again, is if it's overweight, it will not fully go in.
Oh, you could put the What does a seasoned aboleth taste like?
Have you ever... Well, raw, it's going to be slimy as shit, so kind of keeping that in mind, and very tentatively...
So like oysters.
Wait.
What?
I go over and take a bunch of the aboleth snacks. Do they taste as good as the illithid squiddy snacks of my youth?
Well, wait, are you just gonna bite on to one of the aboleths?
I'm gonna put it in the bag first, and then take it out.
And then bite it.
Yeah.
He's not an animal.
That walks over, kind of taking one of the corpses, because again, these haven't been processed in any way. Takes one of the tentacles out and kind of dunks it in like he's dunking a donut into a wide bag of coffee or a wide cup of coffee, and looks at it as it drips down this green, unpleasant-looking liquid that just smells foul. As you go to take a bite out of it, Floor Snap, and it tastes a lot like hot Cheetos. A little bit more slimy and very very doughy, but definitely like a hot Cheeto.
This is amazing.
You see Floor Snap enjoying it. That is up to you for the illithid sex. I will say, in your time, in your youth, spices weren't as advanced in culinary magic items. Not really a common thing. Most people didn't waste their time making inefficient items. So, yeah, this would be kind of a new, unique experience. Now, you've had flavored and good food, of course, throughout your many years, but never an item I imagine like this. It's called ceviche. God damn it. If I was a culinary person, I'd get that joke. All right. So, but as you kind of like enjoy this, looking at kind of shoving or kind of chewing on the tentacles, Warren just kind of gives you a side look, like what the fuck is wrong with you, and just goes back to sitting down and practicing his what you look at as letters as he's working on one of the languages he's trying to learn.
Oh, I thought he would be inconsolable to the fact that we annihilated his box.
Actually, no, you didn't. He bought a microbox last session during downtime to keep with him as a pocket box to feel to put his social anxiety in.
Oh, okay.
Which is still my favorite thing because it's like, you know, going into the worst kind of war zone and then coming back and buying a chihuahua. It's useless, not going to help anyone else, and it's probably going to annoy everyone around you, but hey, you know what? At least you like it, right? Sorry, I hate chihuahuas for those listening. Alright. Well, shits. With that, though, as you kind of, or as Fleshnet kind of continues dipping his newfound ration source into his, like, lime and hot Cheeto dust here, Azurus and Nara, with a large pile of gemstones and the two great swords kind of sticking out the top, as well as a few other magic items in there. Is there anything you'd like to grab specifically for yourselves, or anything you'd like to do while Fleshnet kind of enjoys his food?
You know, I was looking over that beautiful item list earlier.
I would hope so. That's a lot of items.
Besides splitting the monetary stuff 5 ways, actually, the lightning armor. What is that made out of?
Storm glass, which is
So not metal.
Correct. It is a so it's a crystal-like material. Oh shit! Here, give me a second. I'm gonna give you the exact wording because I just made this material.
Because it would be nice to, because I've been sitting on the same like the dark leaf like breastplate since I started this character,
Damn.
and getting a boost in like the type of armor I wear would be pretty solid. Because I can't wear metal as a druid, so if this is like glass
So
or
yes,
crystal,
it is. It's sorry, I was wrong. It's not crystal. It's sand. It is literally sand that the storm giants basically throw overboard on their ship to let the lightning strike it, and then it takes on its form to allow them to kind of manipulate it. It has a natural electrical feeling to it, so it naturally can process electrical spells a lot easier. And is most commonly, just as a heads up, what you would have seen for the rare items that sailors do often keep would be used in like scimitars and such. It's not often seen as an armor because it's so expensive and so hard to like craft in forge.
then I would like the lightning armor.
All right, let me pull up my notes for that, as I don't remember my chaos tech.
Because I definitely don't need any of the swords. I've got the sword that I'm gonna be using for quite a while. I'm fond of it, and now I can actually use it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get into a combat. I'm not gonna like ditch the sword immediately after getting it for a different one. There's no way. I wouldn't do that to Vicarette like that.
I am interested in the swords quite a bit actually because they seem to react to radiant and unholy damage, which could be some fucky shit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I don't have to touch them to wield them.
You can feed magic items to Vicarette, and she can disassemble them and try and get better curses and effects on them by just makes eye contact with GM. I said re-roll enchantments.
Oh boy.
It'll be great, yeah.
I mean, because there's also the life chewer grinding sword. That looks cool as well. Wonder what that's all about. I wonder if it's like a life steal.
Alright. So, ignore the description, but I did finally find it.
Sick.
So, I'm gonna... I'll post it in the general chat. I don't think it really matters. There we go. So, here you go. Sorry, it's terribly written. Let me see if I can adjust that. I copied it from a PDF here. So... read as you can, otherwise I'll fix it 2 seconds. Apologies for those listening at home as we adjust for this. Alright. The DM did not know that the only version of Chaos Tech was the fucking PDF, and therefore, it's the only thing I could get the copy and paste off of. Alright, and then... Almost done fixing it, so it actually looks right. There we go. Did it have a level? No, it didn't. Okay, cool. And then there we go. All right, cool. There, that should fix a little bit, make it a little easier to read. Yeah, so it just basically does 1d6 points of electricity damage per round. In this case, again, the only difference with Stormglass is this will absorb also electricity for spells shot at you. You will have to do some identifying to learn more about it, but there's your basic understanding of what this armor would be.
Gotcha. Well, that's what Vicarot is for.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, Chaos Tech is really cool. As I'm looking here in the background, there's some really interesting items here.
Yeah, I'm really excited for some of this.
Yeah.
And I know this is plate armor, so maybe Vicarot can turn it into something that's more akin to medium.
Let me double check. Yes, this would be, in this case, yes, that's correct. Because of the Storm Giants and what they'd be wearing. But, with looking at it, I mean, do you have Vicarot's stat sheet, Nara?
I do.
If you want to roll in the background, you don't have to RP the character, because I'd imagine she'd be very busy going through the creatures here. But if you would like to roll a craft armor real quick, and just so that way it would be a yes or a no if you could thin this thing out.
Correct.
I've been pinged.
15. 15 plus. All right. So.
If it's not thinning it out, perhaps there could be something to be like picking and choosing certain pieces of the armor, so I'm not wearing a full plate.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Is this a magical item?
Yes.
Okay, then I do get. Okay. Vicarot got a 30.
Yes, Vicar would give you a nod that yes, she could thin the item pretty easily, especially with the materials you just got.
Yeah, I suspected as much, but it's always good to ask because I can't use it. I don't have proficiency in heavy, but I can use medium.
For your own notes, Nara, for Vicarot's crafting in the background, given that role, she would also recognize that she'd be able to use the skins of the aboleth to basically enhance the electrical damage, something fierce, due to the aboleth's natural sorcerer and magical incantations in its body. Natural spellcaster. Okay. That's what I was looking for. So,
I mean, with all the lightning spells I've been casting, this would be pretty dope.
Will be.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Lightning druid.
As you kind of pick up the armor and kind of bring it over to and set next to the other the creatures with the pile next to Vicarot in the wagon. Is there anything else you want? I mean, I assume you're just gonna generally grab everything, but is there anything you want to keep out? Rather, is mostly the thing, rather than just shoving it in chests and boxes. And to answer your question, Floor Snap, I won't kill you, but remember that gift is an accurate choice on your moniker on what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I've definitely moved the two great swords away from the rest because they seem to be, besides the frying pan itself, the most likely to be earth-shatteringly cursed.
I mean, the Life True or Grinding Sword that's also Chaos Tech could be also very cursed.
It can. It's just, it's not radiating, it's not telling me its name as I look at it.
As the two magical swords have been quiet, and they have, however, again, their names are written on the side, but they seem to have reacted to you a lot without you all interacting with them. Is also something to notice for your own concern.
Yeah, we made the sword did the literal equivalent of "Hi, my name is."
Yeah,
Hi, my name is.
Going down as
my
Florstep
name
kind of like floats them like over towards the wagon, but kind of like slightly off to the side of the road, just so that way they're in between you all, so they don't get like stolen, but they're also not like anywhere near enough to people to be influencing them or influenced by them. Kind of going down, other than the gemstones, give you a quick description of what you see, and I'll actually describe the full what you see with the two swords. Now that you guys get them down, get them a little closer. So Sin's whale is mixed with multiple red ruby gemstones that seem to each be almost fully colored, and as you kind of look at them on the handle, they seem to glimmer, and as you, for a moment, it almost seems like there's something looking back at you as your mind seems to suddenly flash to the life of someone in a peaceful village relaxing, or someone by a river enjoying fishing with their grandkids, before seeing a shadowy figure with this seemingly same sword, its blade dripping red, almost crimson with its design, the blade suddenly flashing, and then suddenly the visage vanishing once more. And this seems to there seems to be almost 100 ruby gemstones on either side of the sword. Down each side of the of Sin's whale, there's also a grouping on the sheaths that have the different samurai clan symbols on them, of the crane, the crab, the dragon, etc. Kind of seemingly set in order. Only noting that the unicorn's gemstone is seemingly filled, the gemstone itself being a very almost rainbow-like piece of quartz that seems to glimmer near the edge of the not crumbling, to be very clear, but crumbled to a degree, since the other road was taken out by you a lot before the encounter started, and the lava kind of like down below, kind of glimmering up. The sword, as Florstep just slightly kind of pops it out just to see if the blade is actually there, if this is just a handle and a ruined item, just to make sure you know what you're dealing with. You'd notice is completely crimson, and almost immediately, as Florstep kind of shuts it quickly, seems to give off the soundless wailing screams of agony from some sort of foreign creature you've never heard before. The echo seemingly shrill and almost echoes across the entire chasm, giving an eerie feel to the almost kind of somewhat silence beside Vigret in the background, like butchering every once in a while, and the sounds of like crumbling rocks or lava bubbling. As the blade kind of closes, as you set down, the name seems to stay glimmering there across its sheath as it just seems to quiet down. Stone's forgiveness is almost completely the opposite. Its blade is slightly blue and sticks out of the sheath almost naturally. It seems to glimmer with sapphire gemstones almost all up and down its handle, and where Sin's whale was gold with ruby and a blackened leather sheath, Stone's forgiveness is blue with a platinum and silver mixture and a sheath made from what you recognize immediately as a golden, like skin-like material that seems to glimmer almost unnaturally. The words of the house. Give me a moment. Yes, the Aurelian, or the House of Aurelian, seems to be kind of almost embossed. Is that the right word? Yeah, I think it is. On the edge of the sheath where the two pieces of leather would have met. The symbolism of the Aurelian kingdom being very clear. And the Aurelian kingdom, for those who don't know, and this would be something that other than Nara, you both would know. Well, yes, because Florstep, you've traveled enough, is one of the minor nations of the Devil Folk, or the Closen, as you all know them better as. They're an island nation, really infamous for more of their history interests, supposedly, but not much else would be known about them off the top of your head, just that they're an influential faction in the world. However, when you look into the blue sapphire gemstones of this one, you see strangely almost the opposite factor of now you look through the eyes of almost these villainous-looking creatures, people leading armies of slaves, charging off into battlefields of wailing and dying children and women as they cut them down, only to see this short, shadowy figure kind of appear with this same blade and cut them down, each almost a more horrific death than the last, as you kind of set the two of the blades aside. And then going down, I've already done the frying pan, so I won't go into that further. And I don't think you all need me to explain the gemstones. Although, hey, if anybody knows what a rhodochrosite looks like, please send that to me. I'm honestly curious. I didn't look it up, and that's a random gemstone name. So, but going down, you do also see that there's an ion stone kind of sticking out, carved almost like in the design of a statuistic like illithid, seemingly standing, casting something as it throbs in its dark bluish coloration, coming back and forth. Yes,
it looks like fucking bacon.
Yeah. Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh, that's actually really fucking cool. I want one now.
Rhodochrosite looks like bacon.
Okay, I know what I'm buying for myself next. I want a chair made out of that.
Put it in the frying pan. What happens?
Nothing, but that's really cool looking. The rod of metal and mineral detection being a simple what looks to be ancient piece of equipment. A material or an item that used to be a little bit more common back in the early days of the First Age and has kind of been a lost technology these days as most of the nations able to make them have disappeared. Seemingly just a simple piece of iron with what looks to be the depiction of individuals almost using it like a dampening rod, I think is what they're called, like the little like water sticks that you hold out in front of you to find water supposedly underground, that people swear by. As you kind of look at that, ring of improved swimming, as you see a simple gemstone. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going down to the two most important here. The Psycrown and the Life Chewer Sword. So firstly, the Psycrown, as you notice it does seem to have about 5 different points on it. One of which looks to have a red ruby gemstone that, as you kind of take a second and look at it, notice that the design seems to be similar to some sort of symbolism. It looks to be almost like a red tree that has been kind of carved into a ruby gemstone with almost, and as you closer to looking at it, recognize that this is actually a bloodstone, not a ruby itself. The other symbols, as you notice, seem to be kind of somewhat worn out and hard to make out on the crown, but they do catch your attention as you look at it. And then lastly, the grinding sword, which I'm actually going to find. What?
Does it come with a grinder profile?
It doesn't. I've been banned off them. I'm not allowed to reference them anymore. They got mad at me.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of what came to my mind first as well.
Yeah, that's fair. So you see it as this, it's a long sword, almost, it looks to be at first somewhat normal. However, its pommel looks kind of somewhat particularly strange, as a small tube affixed to it seems to almost allow you to attack the wielder's head clamps, without basically taking off their helmet with it as it hooks it off and pulls away. For those who are not as familiar with weapons, if you've seen the Avatar, the cartoon, not the terrible blue alien movies, Jet's weapons would be similar to what this would look like. The bandit that Katara falls in love with, yes, the hook swords. You know how they're not actual proper hook swords because his have modifications on the bottom of them where the handle is to have an extra hook. That is what a grinding sword actually is, which I did not know that until just now. And if that's where he got the reference, that is fucked because Chaos Tech is a messed up book for Avatar to be referencing. Literally,
it's also an ancient Chinese weapon as well.
It is. I think so. I think you're right on that. But as you look it over, I will note the big thing for this weapon design, as this would have been more common during Florsnap's youth to see something like this. These weapons were really mostly used to specialize in coup de grace quickly, basically efficiently killing your opponent in a two-hit combination by taking their helmet off and then slamming the hook into the head of the individual.
So does it like give you like a faster coup de grace? Like it only takes like a standard action or something instead of full round?
Let me look. Or roll max damage, the wielder can mentally activate the sword's special function. A critical hit or maximum damage indicates the wielder has thrusts a rate into the target. When activated, the sword blade begins to spin on its axle connected to the pommel. Oh my god, it does more than just tear the helmet off. It fucking rotates. Holy shit, that's nasty.
That's more of a pizza cutter and less of a hook.
Kenobi.
Dude, the picture of the shearing blade is bad enough as I'm scrolling down this. But this isn't the grinding one. This is the life chewer one. This is the normal grinding sword. I have the life chewer one next. The Gory Grinding inflicts an additional 3d6 points of damage, and I'll post this here in a second. Further, the wielder can choose to continue grinding on a subsequent round, inflicting another 3d6 points of damage. This requires a full action, though. The victim can pull away through a successful grapple check, freeing themselves from the blade and its effect. However, the Life Cure variation allows the user to, instead of just killing them and being a total dick by making their guts spin, instead can cause that damage to be life drain. That's the major difference. So you can either just kill them with HP damage, or you can life drain them instead. Yeah. So let me put this in here real quick for you.
I don't know what the unholy sword does, but this seems more evil somehow.
My version's worse because I was in the Chaos Tech book when I was looking through all this stuff, or looking for stuff for fun, so...
Like, I just started to the unholy artifact and just shrug and say, hey, sometimes you just get outclassed, you know?
Bro's just sitting there like, yeah, okay, bro, I get it. Like, should have been using me then. That should have been me, not him. Let me put this in the chat though real quick, as it takes a second of editing, since, again, this is coming out of a unique PDF. But yes, and then if you have any questions, now is the time while I'm editing here. Okay, well, don't ask all the questions at once. Jesus, people. Yeah, give me a second then. We'll just continue in awkward sense. Huh?
Doing research.
Ah.
To be fair, my major question is what the fuck the swords do.
Ah, that's another good question. You can roll me a knowledge arcana or knowledge history. I'll take either.
I'll do a history just for shits and giggles, but also I just kind of like plant Vicaret in front of the swords and say, identify.
That's fair.
Got a 28.
28, alright. And then we'll note for Vicaret's thing after that. Just un momentos. I'm almost here. There we go. Boom. Alright, there you go. Don't mind the prices. Those aren't, of course, my own thing. That's just book price. Give me a moment as I pull up my fun notes. Okay. So, one of these is really not a good weapon. I want to note this, okay? So, when it doesn't take much to pop it open for Vicaret and also recognize the very uniqueness of the first Sin's Whale. Sin's Whale has a unique tube in the center of it that, as you kind of pop the blade open slightly out of the sheath once more, looks to, as Vicaret would notice, and with with Florsnap's own recognition, it's not a magical effect of sorts, but it does have what is called a steam vent. And one of the rubies seems to have almost act like a button that you can almost exchange the rubies in between. When you use one of the rubies, it seems to almost torment the gemstone and the soul stuck inside of it, and where the wail of the individual can be heard, and seems to change colors depending on the individual's supposed sin. And as it does, suddenly the tube in the blade begins to, or the greatsword begins to glimmer with this red-like liquid that, as Vicaret kind of lightly touches it, recognizes the heat pulling away from it, and sees this blade, not only when it chops into you does it tear into you, but it pumps bloody steam into your body until you forcibly explode. Now, that's just from first starting. That's not with all the magical doodads and other stuff. That's just the cool equipment factor. This is called a steaming enchant.
Fucked up, man.
Yeah.
What do you say?
This thing's pretty fucked up, man. I'd probably not use this unless you really, really dislike the other person that you're fighting.
Like Wazowski.
To be fair, have you seen most of the things that try and kill me?
Well, I try not to look at the things that you're fighting.
But as you kind of take a look at for the magical bonuses that this item has, Vicaret Identify does not work. something seems to be blocking it almost on the item itself. That does not seem to want to allow its spells to be seen. What that does clue you into immediately is that whatever's trapped inside of this thing has a very high casting level.
If it helps,
Mm-hmm.
and this is perhaps the weirdest thing about Vicaret, I am not using the identify spell. Vicaret's identification is entirely non-magical.
Ooh.
Fucking artificers.
Well.
She literally just like looks at it and is like, "Yep, that's definitely this."
Let's see. Let me put my page note then here.
It
Excuse me.
might still block it, but it is still pretty funny.
No, you're good. No, it was belching. You'll have to excuse me. Yes. Okay, perfect. So the reason you didn't recognize this item is because you've never seen something like this before. However, if you had to describe it, again, even within Artificer's background, it would still be limited to your knowledge based on what you've either had to interact with or you understand comprehensively. So that's where the concept kind of comes from for this. However, you would recognize this item as being made of something you'd best describe as a biocrystal. An item that is literally alive and seemingly able to have its own conscience.
That's interesting.
As you kind of look at it, taking a second, kind of moving it about, you've never seen crafting also like this. The sheath is made from a creature of... it's gone long extinct, you guess, but by the quality of it and the abilities of it, as you kind of like lightly kind of toss off some very minor cantrip-like spells of like basically like lighting a cigarette with different kind of magical energies, the sheath almost seems to be completely unbothered or immune to the effects, recognizing this is something very old or very powerful. Beyond this, you're not really sure what else it could do. However, I will ask, are you going to pick up the item?
Does it seem dangerous to do so?
Yes. With your experience, I'm not going to have to make you roll for it. It's a named item that seems to be reacting to you, and you've never seen a material like this before. That is every bit of red flag for you.
Yeah, I'm not picking it up then.
Okay.
Does it let me pick it up with telekinesis?
Yes.
Huh.
It did not seem bothered and didn't seem to resist you. It also didn't seem able to resist you. Last thing I will note for the greatsword is as Vicaret kind of like tries to chip at the blade a little bit, like kind of tapping it with her solarium arm. It seems to lightly crack a little bit as after a really hard smack to a very specific point where it seemed to already be slightly cracking. And as it does, you watch as this like almost greenish black fluid begins to kind of pour out of it, just like as if it was bleeding, as the wound seems to scab over quite quickly, and immediately seems to close up, resharpening itself back to a point. Now, if there's no other questions on Sin's Whale, I'll go on to Stone's Forgiveness for the Identify and the Knowledge Arcana. Cool.
I don't have anything besides like interacting with it, which I think I want to wait until I do the other one.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'm gonna say for Vicaret, you're gonna immediately recognize this Vicaret because you've had a run-in with this creature that's got the sheath is made out of. The sheath of this thing is made from the same material as the skin of the Golden City.
Oh.
This is an Apex Mimics monster's hide that has seemingly shaped perfectly as you kind of begin to test its abilities and durabilities. Recognizing the epic DR it seems to have and natural spell immunity, it almost seems to take away.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
as Vicaret, I'm going to use one of my infusions, and I'm going to activate my one of my assistants. And what that is it's a spell that lasts for 8 hours, and it lets me. It basically just exists to either help me move stuff or to give me a +2 assistance bonus on any craft check that I already have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna point at my. It's like a. It looks like a. You know the predators when their camouflage is active.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And I motion for it to pick up the fucking sword to see what happens when it touches it.
Sin's Whale or Stone's Forgiveness?
Sin's Whale.
Okay. Give me a will save, Vigret.
Okay.
As you roll, you will see the creature seems to or the creature. Yes, your assistant seems to suddenly kind of pick up the blade, and immediately as they do, their body begins to shake and pulse as they almost seem to dissipate into the weapon as they're pulled away.
It should be noted that whenever the thing takes any kind of damage or stress whatsoever, it immediately just
Mhm.
bursts.
Mhm.
Which is entirely why I'm doing this.
Let's see what you got for that will save, though.
$16.
16.
I rolled low.
It's not bad, actually, because while the item might be scary, it's not as horrifying as you might expect here. Give me a second. Okay. You hear suddenly in your mind, Vicaret, you're not the Order of the Blood Knife. You're one of the... What are you? As the voice kind of sounds almost at first kind of dwarvish, but then kind of seems to have a slight change in variation to the speak that you don't recognize the accent immediately, but it's definitely not one you've ever heard before.
I am the Cryptic Smith, Vicaret. I make weapons, and I'm studying this one.
You study my imprisoned cell and dare to touch me with your weakened abilities? You shall make a fine tribute to me. Make another will save as he's going to try, or the creature or individual inside the sword is going to try and overwhelm you and take over your mind. Are you immune to mind affecting, out of curiosity?
I am immune to poison and petrification, resistance, electricity, fire, sonic, spell resistance 5.
Oh, spell resistance 5. Perfect, so I do have to roll for that.
I'm just gonna activate my Brooch of Sanctuary and my Rod of Displacement.
Okay, remember.
You just fuck off immediately.
Well, let me see. What was it for SR? I just want to remember real quick to see if this even works. It's what?
It doesn't. SR
He
doesn't
has to
affect
give
items
me a
or
will save.
natural.
No, he's going again. I'm talking about the sword using a spell on Nara to see if the it even hits the SR.
Oh, its caster level is probably equivalent to the item's caster level.
Okay, yeah, so it's the crafter level of the item. That makes sense. Perfect. So,
Yeah.
Okay. That I assume does succeed. Sorry, you said you were gonna reaction to what?
I'm casting Sanctuary, and then I'm also activating my Rod of Displacement.
Alright, what's Sanctuary again?
He has to make a will save. The DC is, let me look at Vicaret. The will save is
Higher than a 6?
Yeah.
Damn it. So So I have a cool mod for the spells, but item saves are not based on the caster level, but based on object rules, which means 0 unless specified. So shit. All right. Yeah. If I remember, if I fail, I can't do anything against you. Correct? Is that what sanctuary?
Yeah, he can't do anything hostile to me.
Let me see. Is it hostile actions or is it hostility in general? Directly attack. Okay, so anything, even with a targeted spell.
Targeted spell.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it means that if I'm using anything, okay, that makes sense. Damn.
Yep.
Azurus, come touch me. You're much easier.
Touch me.
No thanks.
I also have a pretty decent will save as it is.
Yeah, well, I don't think you can beat my my spell DC, sadly, but that's fine. That's fine. All right. As Vicaret kind of immediately seeing the item kind of glimmer for a moment, drop, kind of jumping, taking a step back, she seems to wave her hand, and as the spell Sanctuary kind of takes hold, covering her in this almost divine-looking light, suddenly the sword seems to kind of sheathe itself back up with almost a resounding click, as the ruby gemstones in it stop glowing, and the weapon seems to let its magical effect go.
That sword will try to take over the mind of anyone who picks it up or unsheaths it.
Passage to the flame! Destroy it!
Zer's looking into the lava, yeah, like stroking his chin as he thinks about this in his mind. That'd make a great book. I should write something like that one day.
Honestly, if you really just want to reduce it down to its core components, we could do something like that.
I'm also afraid of what might break out if the sword were to be reduced to its bare components.
That's fair. It is a prison. Out of character, it would be funny to get into a dominate monster circle jerk session with an enemy between Vicaret and the enemy. I cast dominate monster. I cast dominate monster.
I cast dominate monster.
I cast Raider Dummy Mommy. Everyone.
No, hold up.
No! No!
Not again.
No! I can't take it anymore!
Zerch, you're used to being dumb. Don't worry, it's okay. We know.
Hey, well, I mean, listen, with all of these enemies coming out that are meant to kill Floor Snap, yeah, I have been.
It's just like every time it goes into a fight. All right, let me get the gimp suit again. All right. Prepare the lube. I want it warm this time. It was cold as shit last time, guys.
I don't like it when it's cold, alright?
No, I got you. As Vicaret, though, says this, looking at the item, I will say again, noting the sword's seemingly ability to heal itself, Vicaret, while you do think you could definitely break it down, understand that, again, this material is something you haven't worked with before and does seem to almost be living.
Yeah.
But as Vicaret points to that floor snap, or Zurus, do you do anything with that? Or are you gonna move on to Stone's Forgiveness, or just say screw it, we're done, grab everything and leave?
I thought she was touching or inspecting Stone's Forgiveness. I didn't think she did it to Sin's Whale.
Sin's Whale, yeah, that was the one.
Sin's Whale is the first one, yeah, because it had the tube in the center of it, right?
Correct. Verstehen.
I like call the Sunstone stuff over to me and just like have it like hang over my palms like very threateningly, and like just grab hold of the blade of the handle, to where if it tries to fuck with me, the Sunstones will just drop directly onto it.
What if we give the Unholy Greatsword to Wara? Maybe that'll help with the cowardly thing.
Floor snap. Give me a will save.
Yes.
As Azura says this, kind of tapping his chin as Flare Snap grabs the sword, orbs floating over it just to make sure it'll crush it as he kind of like pulls it out at an angle so the blade will bend real bad if the orbs fall down on it. 19.
I did not roll great.
Well, you're in contact. You're touching me, so it makes this a little harder for you. You actually missed the DC by 1. All right, cool. I'm actually shocked on that. You were not the person I was hoping to get with this. As you feel your mind begin to fill, all 3 of you suddenly notice the entirety of the area begins to shift as Floorsnap begins to wave his hand and begins to speak in a strange language none of you have ever heard him speak before. As he begins waving his hands, and arcane symbols seem to almost glitter into the air around you, wards of magic kind of appearing that you are ancient looking. In their design and very intricate as they seem to appear, and moving them around like an ancient lizard folk or lizard man from the Age of Sigmar. As waves his hands, all of them begin to kind of spread out and expand, and the entirety of the room begins to shift, and you begin to see a horrific-looking battlefield of Bufani or Slods everywhere that are brown-scaled, looking terrified as demon folk come running in, spears, these giant hippo-like creatures with horrific-looking, like a mix of draconic features and what looks to be almost feathered-like beaks. That just these creatures don't make much sense as an amalgamation that they are. You look as from your perspective, looking in or looking around all 3 of you, you seem to almost be standing around this singular figure, this small-looking Slod who looks happy as he watches his people be burned, cut down, or grabbed in these large, massive nets and taken off by these demon folk. Finally, a figure wearing a massive-looking crown, 5 red gemstones kind of glimmering as they do, comes walking over, towering over this you lot, almost at 12 feet tall, 18 feet tall, broad-shouldered, darkened skin. The creature looks down at the Bufani standing in front of you that you all can't help but notice looks very similar to Floorsnap, as the demon seems to change his appearance, shifting down to this small-looking mouse folk who smiles up, his robes dark crimson, made of horrific-looking creatures that have their faces stitched in with a look of surprise on their face into his robes. The mouse folk looks up and smiles deeply as the two seem to say something back and forth that none of you are able to actually hear, as it almost seems like the conversation's been muted, if you will. The fields around you begin to kind of continue to burn. The swamp kind of expanded out past that seems to already beginning to steam and burn itself. The trees charring black. The water edges already lighting the flame. The beach, only about off in the distance north of where you're standing, seems to glimmer with the torchlight of figures walking towards darkened large what you assume to be ships that are beginning to cast off. The Bufani or Slods being taken one by one or slain and their bodies dragged away. As the mouse folk kind of hands something over, you see as he smiles, shaking the hand of the young Slod, and as he does, the young Slod seems to suddenly, eyes go wide, his body seems to almost shake, and he seems to go almost limp as he drops to the ground, the mouse folk laughing as he just turns and walks away into what looks to be a shadow as the entire area dissipates. As this illusion vanishes around you all, you watch as Floorsnap's eyes seem to come back. Floorsnap, you suddenly snap out of it, finding yourself back out of your mind once more as your, teammates Vicaret, Nara, and Azurus. I'll let them explain how they're looking at Floorsnap after just having seen what they just saw.
Vicaret has a studious look. She's staring at you, she's staring at you, she's still clutching her brooch and still has a rod, and in her other 2 hands, the artifact hand is like ready to go, and then the other one is stroking her chin as she watches. Nara seems to have inhaled and is slightly holding her breath, like she's about to hit you with one of her breath weapons. but she just lets it steam out of her nose. It's the slow gas. She just lets it slowly eke out of her nose as she stares at you.
Okay.
Like she was about to hit you with a slow breath and then probably try and knock you out.
Gotcha. Zers?
Azorus has a very quizzical look, the eyebrow up type of deal. He's got one hand on the hilt of his sword, ready to pull it, and the other ready to sling some magic if necessary.
Floor Snap, as you look at your teammates, you hear in your head from the sword itself. And now your greatest sin is known. How will you wail through your death?
Brilliant. You think these people care? They don't even understand what that was.
As Floor Snap, do you say this out loud or do you think this out of curiosity?
I think it.
Okay. Alright, as you think this, looking at your teammates who kind of look at you now, do you say anything to them or do you just kind of stand there quiet, see if they wait for them to react?
I just kind of wait for them to act. I mean, was I cognizant of the vision being shown to them?
You were not. You were in your own mind in basically what felt like a dark room for a moment.
I was just kind of like, well, I give him a shrug and say, "Meh, still me."
Vicaret looks to Azurus and shrugs.
I don't know either.
Gonna be real honest with you. I'm the least likely person for him to attack in any given situation, so whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. And then Nara just shrugs and says, if he's not gonna kill any of you guys, I don't care.
Okay.
My job was to keep them alive, and that's it.
Sure. Azurus.
My hand goes off the blade.
Okay.
Whatever was going on I assume it was to be fair, some freaky deaky stuff to do with the sword.
Yeah, that's fair. As he takes his hand away, and as Nar and Vicaret reply, the blade seems to reply in Floor Snap's head. Go, no, you're supposed to kill each other. It's a sign of your betrayal and weakness. Are they stupid?
No, they're far smarter than you. Do you know what I do? Do you know how fucking dangerous I am?
Yes.
They know better. You don't. Not yet.
As the sword goes quiet once more, just kind of waiting and pausing. He doesn't respond.
To be fair, if somebody took over Floor Snap's mind, I would try to bank on it not knowing how to use any of the stuff that he uses.
It clearly knew how to use his magic because it made his body cast some weird ass spell that let you all see his memory crystal clear.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I never seen Floor Snap do that. I would assume it was
That's
just
true.
from the
You've
sword.
never seen Floor Snap cast magic, in fact, in campaign.
Yeah, normally. Well, I can't really because I
Well,
don't have a casting class.
I was saying, the closest you would say is his supernatural ability, which is he was technically casting air quotes, but that's its own like a loosened thing. But yes, for your own reference, you actually haven't seen Floor Snap cast, so that was kind of weird and probably a good assumption that it was the item that caused that.
Yeah.
However, if you would like, both of you, since you both are all three of you, Vicaret, Nara, and Azurus, if Vicaret wants, they don't have to. If you want to give me a knowledge history or a knowledge nobility to figure out who that mousefolk was.
Man, I hope it's not any of the patters. I've had enough of them. I don't have either knowledge history or nobility. Can I just roll a straight int?
Yes, please.
Nara's entire strategy for if Floor Snap gets taken over is to drop him in a single turn.
As anyone should.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. And Nara, are you rolling or is Vicaret rolling?
Nara does not have any knowledge skills, so let me check Vicaret real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Vicarette can give herself a +4.
It's up to you. You don't have to, like I said.
Arcana, architecture, engineering, the planes. Would knowledge planes help?
Not in this situation, no.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I didn't have either. I just rolled a straight int.
Yeah.
I'll roll a straight int and then I'll give myself a +4 and see what happens.
Cool.
I'm not using my infusions, so I might as well. 17.
17, okay. Between Azuris and Vicarette, I'll say that, yeah, you managed to begin to put together exactly the symbolism of who that was, and I'm really happy you said that, Azuris, because yes, that was. That wasn't just any old Patter, that was Patter the First, the supposed and legendary blood mage, and one of the individuals supposedly responsible for the Grunaga's rise to power.
Shit. It's that guy.
As you recognize
Vicarette,
that.
you see that shit?
Yeah.
Vicarette, you would know this individual as one of the 5 founders of the 5 schools of blood magic. As well, not an important school for your own people, and not something that you would have known from your own people, but it was a common magic used against insectoids for a time, and was actually believed to be one of the reasons it became so popular for some adventurers. So, you wouldn't have seen it personally, but would have definitely recognized the danger in the individual's kind of dress and items. But as you kind of look at this, and as Floorsnap begins to try to bombard internally in his mind the item with his strange abilities, the item seemingly unbothered and not almost responding in the same language. Do either of you?
You fool!
Do either of you do anything with Stone's forgiveness? What am I a fool for? Wait, hold up.
Oh, I'm just using him for practice. I'm getting better.
It's like speaking Spanish to a guy who knows took 1 more year of Spanish than you.
You fool! I'm learning 1 more year of Spanish.
Hey, it didn't work for me. Maybe you'll have a better chance. But
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I've got everything I want.
okay. I mean, assumedly you guys will be putting anything you don't grab personally into the, like I said, chest and such, because I don't think Azuris is going to
prison
allow.
pocket.
Yeah, Azuris isn't allowing loot to be left behind, even if he isn't the captain of the ship right now.
Yeah, my ship is long gone. Speaking of, I guess we can divvy up those soul coins in gold or whatever the mortal currency up 5 ways.
Gemstones, that's the only difference. That's why I still use GP.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Vicarette isn't going to do anything with the other. She's going to inspect it, tell everyone what she thinks about it, whatever she can identify off of it, but she's not going to pick it up.
Okay. For Stone's forgiveness, this one is not a biocrystal, and it is thankfully also not chaos tech. However, this item is also immediately recognized as not of the mortal plane. This is an item that was crafted by some sort of a kind way with Vicarette's role to put it, and probably the best way for Vicarette, or the only way Vicarette would probably comprehend it, is it was made by an individual who was rising to godhood at the same time in becoming a god of crafting. The metal is not any metal that Vicarette's ever seen, and it literally does not exist on this plane. The sapphires in it are identical to the rubies, but in a seemingly pure and holy variant. And the only thing that makes Vicarette would know is that the item seems to only react to stealing the souls of those who are evil by alignment. That'd be about as far as your understanding would go of it.
Oh. I summon another servant and I make it touch the sword.
Nothing will happen. That's why I didn't describe anything, because you mentioned that you were going to have something else. So, yeah, no, the item does not react at all and seems to, as it's drawn out, completely allow itself to be drawn. It's blue blade glimmering with a mix of platinum and silver kind of inside of it. The symbols upon it kind of glimmer with or as runes with magic kind of begin to slightly almost warm up and fill with this seemingly purple-like liquid that makes them glimmer. But otherwise, nothing
Well-
seems to happen.
Are any of the gems removable?
No.
Aw. Vicaret says, I'm going to study this one in depth. And then Vicaret, instead of putting it in Wara's prison pocket, it will be put into Vicaret's prison pocket, I guess, because she also has a bag of holding.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, as you begin pocketing that, I will say it will not go into your bag of holding. The item almost seems repulsed by it, like two magnets trying to push up against each other with that are of the same typing.
No. I'm gonna check to see if there's a commonality between my artifact arm and this sword, as far as like maker stuff goes. Just a casual check.
Yeah, give me a roll for that. That's a really good question.
That would be appraisal, and I get
Mhm.
tons of bonuses for this. So
Let me go find my notes here.
and then they're both that, so that's another +2, and so 26. That is a really low roll for me.
Damn. And remind me
I have
what your item is.
a lot.
What your arm is called? Is that the armlet of Zephyr?
It is. Hold on.
Take your time.
Where is?
So many items.
Why is it not? Okay. It. Blip, and then. His mom? What the hell?
Was it Solorosa's Promise? Yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Single bronze colored arm seems to. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
You know what's actually funny? Lorstep just figured out something, and I love that you actually caught this. Yes, actually. So go ahead and give me a roll for this. You got 26. That was right. That's right.
Yeah.
That was your praise check. Okay, perfect. So yes, is the answer. This is an item that, as you recognized, is part of a set. Soloris's Promise is not the only one. As you notice the symbolism of the Soloris Hive, the single yeah, the Hive of Soloris, yes. Okay, so I was right. The Soloris Hive marking on it. However, as you look down at your arm, looking at the symbolism, there is a couple of markings on there that never made sense amongst the signature. They look to be smith marks of other smiths, but ones that could not possibly have been made by an insectoid, or at very least even, trying to remember your race, Vicaret, give me a second. Formian. I was like, I wanted to say Gormian, and I'm like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, Vicaret's an ant person, not a weird pig alien.
Yeah, right? Exactly. The symbol on this, as you look at the Stone's Forgiveness, as you pull it out, not only does it have the design of the Soloris Hive kind of etched at the top of the Smith's mark, but this one seems to have the marking of similar other ones. However, one of the ones on your arm seems to be enlarged here. This one specifically being the symbol of House Aurelian. That seems to be kind of expanded where you would normally had seen on your own arm the Soloris Hive marking. Looking at this, though you're not sure about that, that does tell you one thing. There seems to be a collection of about 13 markings on here, and these are 2 of them. The last thing that you notice is that there was a marking on this sword that had the symbol, or seemed to have an area for a holy trinket mark to kind of stick into. And as you kind of run your fingers, yeah, I guess fingers in this case, carapace finger, yeah, okay. Through around it, you can feel the indents, and it almost feels like little hands kind of dug into the metal as you look at it, and almost in like a kite shield formation, recognizing the symbol of Ella Ugbo.
I just can't get away from this bitch.
Hey, you're not the only one. Remember, it's like the joke of you guys finding one of the people doing what Ned's storyline is, the big tree, and it's like, well, crap, why did we run into another carrier of the world trade? We don't deal with it. It's like, yeah, but they're everywhere. You know, that's the point. That's part of the story. You're not the only people here. But yes, noticing that you kind of as you look at the markings. It almost seems to tell a tale, from what you can tell, Vicaret, of someone, almost as if someone seemed to tear the symbol of El Ugbo out of the blade.
All right.
Otherwise, yeah, that's all you can manage to figure out. I will note, your arm does begin to, where it's connected, start to slightly tingle a little bit, but otherwise nothing else seems to change.
Is it
You ever
a good tingle or is it a bad tingle?
You ever drank a really strong energy drink and then felt your body kind of tingle all over when you didn't do anything immediately? That's kind of the same effect.
Oh, it's the zoomies.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. As
boy.
as Vicar kind of wields the thing with her solarium arm, almost naturally the blade seems to feel right in the hands as it moves about.
There's a level. The last time that you guys saw Vicaret with this level of unbridled joy and glee in her eyes was when you handed her that ship to study.
That's true. Yeah.
And you see her like anxiously side-eyeing Wara, and like you get the sense that there is very far deep down in her bug-like soul the plans for incredible violence if he takes this from her.
Like a cat having caught its fish for the day, Vicaret happily walks back to the back to the wagon and starts investigating the item more thoroughly.
Yeah.
I distract Wara with the flesh grinding sword.
Yeah, Wara's got work. It's gonna be just gonna be Vicaret pointing to and showing him how to cut up the proper parts of these creatures so that she doesn't have to do it, so she can investigate the item that she now has to play with. He can be the butcher, you know, it doesn't take much to cut up a corpse. You just gotta be careful with the organs. And after like 20 of these things, he should be a master, right?
Yeah.
So no, but
like,
I get you, good.
Like if he takes this sword from Vicaret, I swear to God, every cursed item we come across, I'm going to pull the curses off of them, put them into one sword, and hand it to him, and watch him get into a curse implosion.
That's fair. Right? Well, to be fair, he's already has so many cursed items, it's not worth him taking up a worse curse for one of his other items. Plus, he already has one other god he's tied with. You don't know what these items are tied to yet. So, you know, you don't really want to chance that. Well, alright. I'm saying
that if he takes this sword from me and ruins my stuff a bit, I'm going to write out a paragraph. I'm going to write an essay and then kill his ass.
The 3 pages.
3 pages. Single spaced, yep. Oh, man. I got you. As Azurus kind of starts gathering up the rest of the items, Snap kind of helping float the majority of the heavier and the magical items that no one wants to touch due to the chance of them being cursed, as you kind of add them to the giant chest you lot have, if I remember correctly, that just carries a ton of shit that Wara carries with him everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
As you guys kind of start piling everything in there, it takes about another hour to kind of get everything done as you lot finally finish up getting the wagon wheels kind of put back on, the wagon fully set up and ready to pull again. As you lot kind of start now not really sitting in the wagon as it's filled with corpses, so now it's back to hoofing it alongside the wagon until those are processed. But as you lot start kind of heading off, is there any last thing you want to do before we jump to the next section of today's session?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do like paint with the viscera and gore, on the walls of the cavern. Is fear the Orcusai.
Okay, I got you. Hey, give me. Do you have perform or craft or a profession of some sort that would work towards this? Calligraphy, like artist.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing like Floor Snap doing this, and then Vicret's like, no, like this. This helps him out.
Right.
Give him a +2 bonus.
I mean, all I've got is craft alchemy and craft shipmaking.
No, you should.
I have an incredibly high base charisma, but that's about it.
All right, give me
I,
give me a charisma check. We'll go with that then.
I'll summon an unseen assistant to help Floor Snap, giving him a +2.
God damn it. Okay. Steadying his brush. All right. Yeah. I mean, he's not drawing the symbol of the Orcusai. He's doing it in Common, which is one of the simplest languages to thankfully write in because it was designed to be a trade language, just so that way people could communicate. And other than the word Orcusai, which kind of comes off a little funky looking, just because it doesn't really translate real well into Common, and I assume you're writing this in Common for everyone to be able to read it, Floorsnap?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. The lettering comes out clean enough. You managed to carve it into the gore it or paint it onto the side of the cavern. As people thankfully aren't coming by right now, but it's definitely big enough to be seen as it glimmers with the lava light.
I figured between that and the conspicuous lack of a notorious aboleth hive that was once here.
Or the entire right bridge. Because now, as you look back, the people have to probably go back about another week's worth of marching to, double back to this side of the road.
Yeah, we cleaned up a good amount because we wanted to take the corpses, but there is so much blood in this fucking bridge.
Oh yeah, it's not. Thankfully, it is drying. It dries quite quickly because of the heat. So you don't have much to worry about. But yeah, it's the smell is very irony.
Wait, and just a quick question because I think I missed it. What happened to the giant creature?
It fell apart into other aboleths as it unformed, and then you guys killed
I
it.
remember now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, you weren't able to keep it in its main form to get the ambrosia spit. I know.
Ambrosia?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Let's run it back again.
Yeah.
Ambrosia beans.
It's too late. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Aw.
But yeah, all right. As you since Nara, did you have anything? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
No, I ate what I ate.
Perfect. All right, as you lot start walking through, someone give me a quick D20 roll and add your survival bonus to this. And then after that, we'll be taking a quick 5-minute break because I need to refill my water
may
as
I?
it's hot.
Yeah.
Can I do it? I have a +14 to survival.
Sure. I don't care. Floor Snap, you good with that?
That'll be a nat 20 for a 34.
Hell yeah. All right. For a 34, as you lot, as the next, it takes about a week's worth of driving or writing before you run into anything next, and we'll get to that in a moment. We'll be right back for those watching at home. This will be instant. For those of us here, we'll be back in about, let's say, 10 minutes. All right. As you lot have traveled for roughly about a week, thankfully, almost uninterrupted and pretty quiet due to most of the merchants that had gone ahead of you being wiped out by the aboleths. Not much had seemingly been coming this direction either, due to, it seems, the word getting around that hive had popped itself over and kind of parked itself there. But thankfully, finally, after a week, you do finally come to another joining of a market circle, where more of the stone and the pathways seem to conjoin. A few heading towards what looks to be closer towards the center of the ring itself that makes up this plane. Some pathways that seem to head back out towards the outer portions of the rings, where most of it is just abandoned and territory left to the wandering, the undead, and the hated or despised. However, as you lot kind of arrive at this large pavilion of stalls and merchants, as well as adventurers passing by, similar to the one you had been at, like, I think 6 weeks ago now in session, you all notice that, again, you see the merchant that you'd seen previously floor snap with his copies of his own versions of Wara and giant crystallized boxes that kind of keep them in mint condition. Still selling as he kind of walks around shouting at people trying to get them to buy him off of his cart. Same guy you scared the living crap out of him. They teleport out of the area, if I remember correctly.
I did do that.
Yeah. But you do notice a few more merchants here that seem to have kind of like set up themselves more with whips, more deviant items that you'd expect to see in the lust shops. As you start walking over, a few more food stalls that seem to offer almost completely free of charge their wares in exchange for trying to get you hooked on what they offer. The individuals kind of offering from the section of gluttony where you all had just come from. As they hand over what look to be these candied, like, insectoid shrimp-like creatures kind of curled up in a honey-like glaze on skewers, each of them slightly spiced as they are. The creatures, or the merchants, kind of continue to watch you lot as you pass or walk through, till one of an individual seems to kind of eye you lot, and seems to almost park himself in your way, alongside a few other hooded figures. However, the main figure stands about... Excuse me, taking a drink here. About 9 feet tall and about 300-ish pounds, roughly, from what you can tell. His massive, kind of bulking arms seem to stick out of his figure, in his humanoid figure under this massive cloak. The gray skin seemingly showing where his fingerless gloves kind of cover his hands, sticking out of the cloak as he looks over at you lot as he steps in your way, right in front of who I imagine would probably be Floor Snap leading the way with your guys' wagon following behind, and Azurus and Nara to either side of the wagon.
Just me.
No,
Huh?
sure. I'm also like floating a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah, you don't want to touch the ground, smart man. And what was your, would you say, Floor Snap?
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense to me to bring up the front.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, doing my wizardly floating bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Ground is for plebs.
Exactly.
Hey, truth, brother.
The figure kind of standing in front of you as he stops, kind of pulls back his hood, and you see this, like, gray-skinned, very human, very cut face, very masculine chin that seems to be very pointed. His hair kind of slightly darkened brown that kind of covers down just slightly over his eyes to be a little bit of an annoyance as he moves it to the side. As he smiles at you and looks at you and goes, "Oh, excuse me, I thought you were someone else," as he speaks in Draconic. Goes, "You look like a figure I was looking for. You wouldn't happen to know a Tunathy Tumberton, would you?" As he looks down at you. Floor Snap.
Just like shrugging. Nope, never heard of them. I don't think I literally have.
He kind of looks back at Lazarus and Nara on the wagon and goes, "Hey, have you lot heard of a Tunathy Tumberton or a Melvin the Misunderstood? Dutes Conwyn? Any of that ringing a bell?"
Oh.
Vicaret's head leans out of the wagon.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
Vicaret, you do recognize this individual as you've met him before. This is Goose.
Oh, it's Goose!
The infamous monster hunter.
Yikes, man, he was dangerous.
Yeah, last time he literally he punched a lich in the face, if I remember right, and killed him instantly.
Yup.
Yeah, thankfully I do not look the same as I did back then.
No, you are an evolved creature. As he kind of looks at you and just kind of seeing you and kind of there's a raised eyebrow and goes, "Yes, you form me in. Have you heard of these individuals?"
Actually, I'm a Vesperian, but last time I checked, they were on a different plane of existence.
Damn it! And he looks back at the three figures behind him. They're all a little bit shorter, also equally cloaked, keeping their kind of heads covered in darkness. As he kind of looks back at them and goes, I told you lot we had the wrong scales. I said that we should use the mithril scale, not the black scale we got from that damn crystal giant. I knew he was lying to us. Alright. He kind of turns and goes, I appreciate your assistance, folks. Oh, one more thing. If you don't mind my asking. We're also looking for an equally dangerous and powerful criminal. He goes by many names and might be going by a new name now. He's the slayer of the Bufani, the Slotty, a brown slot, known to have telekinetic powers that rival gods, supposedly, because of his magic. Any y'all seen a figure that looks like this?
Nope.
I don't know
No?
much about slides.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Looks at Azurus and raises an eyebrow and goes, alright. I'm just gonna take that as a cultural weirdness that is normal for your people. I appreciate your time. I apologize for getting in your way. As he pulls out this little, what looks to be a jar with this bluish liquid and,
Not the jar. No.
Lord Snap, one of your black scales in the jar and pointing right at you. And he goes, this damn thing, ever since we've gotten here to Moors, keeps telling me that Tunathy Tumberton is... And he, holds it out and, moves it about. As the scale literally just follows Lord Snap and, rotates, pointing to a random beastful toadman,
Secret leans out and motions for him to hand it to her.
Are you an artificer of some sort?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect! We lost ours when we got down here. We had to offer him as a sacrifice to get in. You wouldn't mind fixing this thing. It keeps telling me that the creature that the crystal giant, or the giant told us about is here, apparently. But she looks at Floorsnap. I've seen enough toad beast folk to know you're no slod.
Well, thank you. I'm very proud of my heritage. Say, since this thing is defective, I'm a collector of sorts. Want some soul coins for this dragon scale, whatever it is?
As he's about to
Valuable.
as he's about to hand it to Vicar, kind of stops and looks at you, Floorsnap, and goes, I mean, I've got 4 other scales. If you sure you want this one, I mean, I don't know, it'll be much value to you, but sure.
I want me to fix the magic item.
Neat. Here, what do you say? 20 soul coins?
And shrug and goes, sounds like a profit to me. Do you want the jar too?
If I take the whole lot of, since, the thing seems defective anyway, can I just have the other scales too? That might come in handy.
I mean, I'm using him to track down this dangerous creature. He's got a bounty worth more than anything, and I'm pretty sure if I drink his blood, I'll gain the powers I'm looking for. So, and his skin's got to be worth something grand. I mean, I'd love to have the pelt hung over my room.
But didn't that Tun die during the war between the trolls and the Thrygreen?
You'd think that, as he kind of still holding the jar, kind of looks back again. The scale's following, looks at as he turns. He's not even looking at it.
just
I
looking
just
back
slip
between
him
the
the 20
jar.
gold or 20 soul coins and take the jar. Kind of put it in.
As you grab it from, kind of shrugs, he looks back and goes, yeah, that's what they want you to think. As a professional hunter of monsters, it's my job to make sure that this is correct. And I found that when I did my ranger skills and tested everything out, that he was still alive. And so now we tracked him down to an island full of psionic beasts that I'm currently sending some individuals to scout out. But we got chased off when a group of I don't know how to even describe them. An airship landed, some giants got off and just pissed off everything in the forest on this damn island. And then some giants got on alongside, some other giants. One was a giant blue monkey dude. I tell you, he's my next thing after Tun Tun and this frog individual, or this slutty individual. Because that was a show. But, yeah, we were looking into it, and I guess my crew got hit. Shrugs and goes, well, I mean, he seems to be alive, though. Or at least whatever inhabits that island doesn't want us to find out. So. But.
So.
Look, you go ahead, Nora.
Vikret is just trying to get her hands on the tracking magic item, and she's gonna quote unquote fix it.
As they pull
I bought it
grabbed
from him.
it. Yeah, I was saying.
I can pass it over to you, but I fully just bought it off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks back. Good.
Yeah, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna send him after the shapeshifter that escaped us, that teleported away.
I will say, given what you know about him, Vikret, this guy is a competent monster hunter. You're pretty sure he'd recognize the difference in parts here in his thing. So, or any variation to something he's probably made in this situation for tracking monsters.
Okay.
Understanding that also not all monsters are dumb. Many of them are intelligent, like yourselves in this situation, as should be classified.
As I'm talking to the man wanting to hunt me, telling him, no, different guy.
But he kind of looks at you, as he kind of finishes saying that, Azuris, though, he kind of looks back and goes, well, you all should be careful if you do run into him. I don't know what he's going by. I've heard it's Floorbreaker, or Shipbreaker, that's what it was. Scaled creature, looks like a toad, hard to miss, but he floats constantly. I've heard he has a bunch of giant orbs that glow like the sun that he throws at people. So I prepared a few items just in case, and if you all are going to go after him, and kind of gets into his pocket, or his bag of holding that seems to have a strange design on it, and it's purple coloring, and pulls out a couple vials of something, like this darkened liquid, and kind of hands it out, and goes, this is slotty poison. I make it myself. It's very hard to get. You have to kill another slug to basically make the poison. It has to be of a different coloration, otherwise the whole issue, because sometimes you get the mixture wrong, as he kind of hands them out to each of you, a small vial of the thing, about 8 ounces, and goes, it'll transform them sometimes it'll cause them to suddenly pop like a balloon, or sometimes it enrages them, so you have to be very careful with your concoction. I've done enough research, though. I'll know this creature when I see it. Immediately, as the hands floor snap the item.
How generous. Say, what does this particular concoction do?
Well, for mudslots, or at least those who originate as mudslots, for my you see one of his companions kind of taps him on the shoulder, and he kind of looks back and shrugs and goes, no, they're good people. Basically, this will cause him to be immediately paralyzed and locked in his own mind. I hear his telekinetic abilities are supernatural in their capabilities, and it's hard to be able to avoid situations like that, Beholder kin are similar to that, and, oh man, it's a nightmare fighting them too. So, this will lock down those abilities, make it so he'll be locked off from his telekinesis. My theory, and from his description, he's so fat and old and weak that he'll just stumble and crumple to the ground, and I'll be able to kick him a few times until he's dead.
That's an interesting theory.
And if that
Out of
doesn't work,
curiosity,
looks at you, goes, yes, feel free.
you're tracking him in, ostensibly the afterlife.
That's
sure he's not just already dead?
Oh, we've got it on good confirmation from the crystal giant smith we had spoken to that he's alive. Apparently, we had our friend who was sitting there just to make sure they didn't come back confirm that they requested their items made by him and somehow got them teleported down here. I don't know what kind of magic they found down here, but I'm assuming he may have evolved into something a little more dangerous, which is why I err on the side of caution when I hand these out for you all.
Well, I appreciate the civic duty.
No,
It requires your profession. If we hear of any shipbreakers, we will be profoundly grateful and tell you of it.
of course. Yeah, if you can kill him yourself, the bounty's worth it. Go to any adventuring guild. They've got the bounty posted. It kind of pulls out a wanted picture of it, and it is literally a perfect picture of Floorsnap as he is right now. Almost identical, except for the magic items. He kind of hands it out and goes, "You see what I mean?" As he looks at Floorsnap and goes, "How close you look to this creature? This is why you have to be careful as a beast folk. People don't know the difference down here."
My God, it is uncanny.
Now, I do recommend when approaching this creature to ask him about his interests. I've heard he likes to talk a lot, meander about the olden days, how it was better. Very old person kind of attitude. So that's one of my piece of advice. And as you can see, the bounty there, well, it says wanted alive. Not recommended. The dead part pays better.
I did hear of this creature. I believe he has a nephew. Did you hear about that?
No, I think he's the last of his people.
I mean, that's what I've heard. He's got some kind of nephew, or at least somebody he calls his nephew. Maybe it's something that you could find and get him to come to you.
We did find something, as he kind of like digs into his another bag of holding and pulls out a necklace with a single blue teardrop gemstone on it that seems to kind of glimmer. As he kind of holds it up and goes, apparently, one of them that was traveling with him was interested in this little sweet thing. It's a tear from some water elemental I managed to capture. I was told by some people who knew the creature and had seen it, they said that he was traveling with a pirate captain of some sort that was interested in a water elemental, did some investigating, found out who she was, and, well, as a true monster hunter, I went and beat the living crap out of her, captured her, and sold her to the highest bidder. Great payout, honestly. I didn't think I'd get it. So I'm hoping to also hopefully find him while I'm down here tracking that, because I've heard if I can sell both of them, I'll double up my payout.
That is a fine necklace. How much would you part with it for?
Oh, yeah, it's monster bait. I gotta bring out this this slod creature.
Well, the necklace will bring out the slot creature?
That's what we were told. Him and his pirate captain are supposed to be drawn to the damn thing, like they're insatiable to it. Different reasons, I assume.
Well, how much would you get?
Well, captain's worth. Oh shoot! He looks back at his other members who've kind of. There's about 3 of them now that are kind of standing. The others have kind of meandered into the market, going about their business. As the one of them looks back or looks up at him and walks over and kind of whispers something quietly. And he kind of looks back and goes, apparently, this Captain Azul is worth about 300 million gold pieces or a small bit of land. So, I mean, a lot from what I understand. The shipbreaker fella there is worth about twice that, and the elemental was worth about half of it, roughly.
Who's giving out these bounties?
You get them from different places, but adventurers guilds usually have them posted up someplace. As a monster hunter, I'm part of an elite group of members who specialize in hunting down dangerous creatures, so usually I get offered them by the guilds after contractors post them, but I don't get told who the poster is.
I got
Well-
a question, Nara says.
And nods back and goes, oh, yes, you're, I assume, one of the Aussie Empire nobility, given your attire and appearance. Nice to meet you, lady. I do apologize, I'm not familiar with your clan, otherwise I'd address you properly.
That's fine. I'm on a very short list, so it would be unlikely for you to have encountered us. Anyways, so wouldn't this is just a hypothetical, you're all the expert here. Wouldn't this Captain Azul, this blue person,
Yes, blue genies, what I was told. They look like these, like goblins, but uglier, is what I've been informed of.
I have heard that.
Short,
Yeah.
pointy ears, terrible teeth.
Wouldn't he probably, I don't know, send someone to track down where this water elemental he's drawn to? Like, wouldn't
Ah!
he be going after that?
I thought the same thing. So I made a deal with an individual who was also interested in the necklace for afterwards, so that I'd have to return it to. But you're not wrong. You have good intuition for someone who's not a monster hunter, and should think about that as a good career choice one day. It's a good plan. I figure if he goes back and somehow slips past me and gets back to the mortal plane before I do, one of my elite messengers will let me know, and the surprise I've left behind will very much enjoy bothering him. There's a young, well, I call her young because she'd probably kill me if I revealed her actual age. A young professor that was very interested in studying the unique elemental and her strange interest in this lover she had. I don't know. She kept whining about something, trying to cry. I mean, when you're just punching a creature in the face while they tear up, you just gotta keep going until they finally quiet down. It's truly a mercy, if you know what I mean.
When I was on the material plane, I was a sailor myself, and I've heard quite a bit of this Captain Azul.
He nods.
And I did manage to collect something of his personally.
Oh?
Do you think that would be better used to track him down instead of that necklace which belonged to his lover?
Well, I feel any man worth his salt and willing to turn to piracy for the love of the sea is gonna come after this pretty hard. But, I could be convinced maybe once I leave here to sell the item. If you're willing to outbid the individual who has already bought the item from me. Otherwise, you can take it up with my client and buy it from her if you'd like. I've got her card here. And kind of leans into his bag.
And how much are you selling the item for?
Oh, only a quick 20 million gold pieces. I have an expensive lifestyle. Protein ain't cheap and all that. As he kind of leans into the bag. Muscles kind of flexing as he do. Pulls out a card, and you read the words Vitra in big bold letters on the front. It says Archivist and Professional Explorer of Tombs underneath. As well on the back. It's not a true name, but it's a call name is all we'll call it, basically, to be like, oh yeah, hey, you want to, sand dial me?
I hate to say this, but the card probably itself is currently afraid, just because, even though it's an inanimate object.
Who knows? But yeah, as he kind of holds out the card towards Azurus, he goes, yeah, if you want to talk to her, she's a collector of many objects, so I sell most of my items through her.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where did you sail, by the way? I was a sailor for myself for a little while. I even ran into Captain Azurus and his crew when I was traveling. I haven't seen him in a while, though. God, that was ages ago.
It was here and there. We didn't really... It wasn't like we were part of a main line of a merchant or a trading company. We were kind of just moving around, ferrying people from place to place, taking jobs.
Oh, yeah. You ever take a job at a Knighton or King's End? King's End.
I've been to Knighton before, yeah.
Nice. Great city, great city. The poor guard captain, I heard, man, he got just beaten to live in hell by this crew. Terrible situation. Oh.
I did hear about that. Very unfortunate series of events that led to it all.
Oh, so you haven't been down in Moors very long, I take it?
No, just, how many weeks have we been down here?
5 weeks, to your knowledge.
That was me asking my party members and character.
4 or 5 weeks, maybe, is how long y'all have been down here?
Yeah.
I will say, Floor Snap, he is
Specifically
surprisingly.
say
Oh, go ahead. No.
you all, as in not her, because she's been
Yeah.
here a lot longer.
Floor Step, yeah, he is surprisingly stoic. It is really hard to get a read on him other than his general, like, kind attitude, which is kind of catching you off guard a little bit. Something seems fishy here. As he kind of looks back out, though, at Azurus and goes, yeah, as a sailor, I gotta ask, you ever sail on any interesting ships? I happened to meet the builder of the Red Lady ship once. A young kid was repairing this old debilitated ship on the shores of this like pirate crew, and he was working in the river, pulling out the pieces, putting it together. Man, he loved the ship. I can't remember what he called it though, off the top of my head, but I know he renamed it to something interesting. But yeah, yourself, as he looks at Azurus, you serve on any interesting ships yourself?
Well, for a very short period of time, I found myself on the King's Mercy.
Oh, I heard about that poor ship. One that the Frost Giants only pilot or ran on. The same one that seemed to go disappearing a while back as he kind of begins to put his hands down slowly and begins to look Azurus up and down a bit more.
Yeah, but I was really looking for work at that point, and well, I was blue enough. I managed to get a small job there for a while, but they didn't like the cut of my jib, and they kicked me off before they went off again. And then, well, you know what happened.
As you say this, and as Floorsnap kind of hands over the vial of slug poison to Vicaret, Vicaret, give me an appraise check for this real quick.
Guys, I really want that necklace.
That's fine. You're talking yourself into identifying yourself and immediately getting us into a fight.
And you're the one that's in striking distance. What was that? Sorry, Nara?
Out of character, I'm pretty sure we are about to get into a fight regardless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's a lot smarter than he's been.
God, I
making
hope
himself out
so.
to be.
Let's see what Vicaret can roll, though.
This is my appraise. I also have craft
Oh, hell
alchemy,
yeah.
so if that has synergy, add +2 to that.
Perfect. Yes, it does, actually. Two things. One, that isn't poison. That is a black ooze. That, as you immediately recognize, it seems to have some sort of strange, magical, pulsing orb in the center of it that was its core. That would best be described as, if it touched you and was out of this vial, would be equivalent to a finger of death spell hitting you. As he kind of looks up at Azurus up and down and goes, interesting. You know what? As he puts his hand on you, Azurus, and he smiles, kind of as his hand kind of engulfs your shoulder, and he looks at you and goes, if I didn't know any better, and you weren't the color your skin was, I'd assume you were Azurus himself. I swear, as he kind of smiles at you, and like a big, smile almost covers his whole face as he says this, and goes, but as he pats your shoulder hard, clearly, Azurus would never be so stupid as to come talk to the guys hunting him. I mean, or go around with a beastfolk toad, which just doesn't make sense. As he kind of laughs it off, kind of chuckling to himself, looking back at his crew, or his 3 crew members, and goes, now, I'm truly sorry about the whole not being able to sell you the necklace, but I do have to get going. My dealings are take me out of here. We've just gotten rumor, at least the sand that just went in my ear just told me that they just spotted the entirety of this little crew about a week away from here, having killed a hive of aboleths, which I'm even more curious about them now. As he smiles and goes, oh, we'll catch you all later, as he turns and kind of gathers up his forces and starts walking off down the road you guys came.
Vicaret telepathically tells, because I have telepathy 100 feet, Vicaret just makes eye contact with Floorsnap and relays that information instantly.
Is it natural or is it an ability?
It is natural telepathy.
Okay, because there's like language telepathy is one thing, and then it's like if you have an ability. Okay, perfect. All right, well, I'll make sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I telekinetically throw the vials at at Goose.
All right. What's okay? Go ahead and make an attack.
See, he gave it to one of each of us, so there's
Yes.
5 of them.
Yes, correct.
All right.
No, 4, because it would be you, because Vicaret, Azurus, and Nara. So 4.
Okay. Because Wara's not checking.
Because Wara's in the tent or in the wagon cutting up things. The last page has no interest and is just kind of watching this whole thing. And then, of course, the Meijing individual is still in the back.
Yep.
Forgot the last page was with us.
Yep.
So, since these are alchemical items, they're technically touch attacks.
Correct.
And assumedly, he's flat-footed if he's walking away from us.
Correct.
So, I think his flat-footed touch AC was 10 or less.
You miss. No, he is not. He is not a full ranger. To be very clear, that does miss.
Oh.
Goose.
Touch AC of 24? My god.
You're gonna find out why. Goose immediately, as his armor glimmers and something on his head seems to glow, or the back of his head seems to glow, as seemingly you see 2 eyes open up on the back of his head, and he turns immediately, grabbing all the vials, and goes, "Oh, I guess you didn't want them. My apologies. I'll take them with me. But if you do run into them, feel free to let me know." As he kind of waves and turns and continues walking with the vials now, pocketing them. You can hear, by the way, his members kind of turning back and going, no, he was attacking you. He goes, and you can hear him loudly going, no, they're good people. As they walk off.
Vitra, freaking Vitra. I've got to talk to Vitra. Oh my god.
Azurus apparently immediately face in hands as Floorsnap just looks at the... Oh, I think the first individual to actually take an attack from Floorsnap and just walk away undamaged. Oh,
I fucked it up. I only rolled once.
Well, hey, we took it, though.
It's alright. Oh, I rolled a 2. No wonder.
Gotcha. As Goose... he rolls a 2, literally, so you had to get a 3 to beat my AC. Okay, good. Great. I'm happy to hear that I got lucky in the situation. I thought I was really cool. Fuck you. I was like, he's never going to see that my touch and my flat-foot AC is really high because I've really stacked something. Oh, no. It's because you rolled like shit. All right. Hey, Azurus.
Roll the other 3.
Azurus, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, you get it? You get it now?
It's fun, though. Makes it more entertaining. But no.
She has my fucking life.
Azurus says this kind of his hands covering his face. The others are the Goose and his crew kind of finally leaving out of earshot and heading down the corridor as they continue the path that you lot came. Last page kind of looks down at between Nara and Floorsnap and then back at Azurus and then just kind of gives a nod and climbs into the wagon and goes, "Oh, Wara, you look like you could use a hand. Here, come, Vicaret, come here. I think Wara's trying to use the sword as a butchering knife." As the 3 of them kind of disappear into the tent, leaving you 3 to kind of for a moment as the merchants continue to shout, selling items and kind of handing out food and such.
What am I gonna do?
I just gotta give a shrug and look at Azurus like, well,
Nara's gonna look at the name Vitra and be like, that doesn't look like a good name to interact with.
Uh-huh.
What would it be to recognize that name?
Knowledge nobility or knowledge history or knowledge arcana.
Okay. Do I actually have anything that gives me synergy bonuses to knowledge arcana? No. I got a 13 to identify that name, so...
No, doesn't stick out to you off the top of your head.
Yeah, I just kind of shrug. So, what's going on?
Pain and suffering. I need a drink.
As Azura says this, you just watch it as a merchant seems to suddenly, like, 20 feet down the aisle, turns, smiles, holding a bottle of brown liquid in a glass, and a glass in the other, and is jogging down. Sir, I heard you needed a drink. Let me tell you about our local brand of Lust Love. It won't make you horny, but it will make you forget your woes.
I doubt the first part.
He kind of looks over at Flourish and says, "Sorry, sir, what was that?"
Oh, I doubt the whole lust brew is not going to make him horny.
Oh, no. We don't. Those are specialty brands that cost way more. We wouldn't give that away for free. This, I can make in my garage. In fact, actually, that's exactly what I do. The goats stand over it. I milk them into it. We mix it about with a couple of oats, let it sit for a couple months, and boom, you've got brown liquid that makes you buzzed.
Is that from the smell or the actual?
Uncorks it, and it smells like expired goat cheese. It is rancid, it is rough, and it is strong. But as
Can I appraise it?
Huh?
Can I appraise it?
Yeah, give me an appraisal. Yeah, sure.
That's just poison.
21.
21. This is an exotic and very rare liquor. It is a terrible tasting one, from your own knowledge, Azuris, but this is a brew that is available on the mortal plane, is usually kept as a collector's material to many warlords and nobles alike. A lot like battle wine, this stuff will give you some bonuses, but there's also some downsides with it, as it's infamously known.
I just gonna point this out to all of you. Take it from someone who's been here. Lust doesn't always mean, like, sexual lust, because there are some of the strongest creatures on this plane actually have a lust for knowledge or battle.
Desire.
It's different.
He nods.
Yeah.
I just
You
look
have
over
to-
my shoulder at my nephew.
Who's getting a scolding by Vicaret as she is holding the blue greatsword in her hand and yelling at him.
You mean like that?
She's used her last instance of summon assistant, and the assistant is hitting him with a rolled up newspaper.
Yeah. The demon or devil looks about between the three of you and goes, "Now, would you be interested in taking a taste? If you're interested, the bottle's only a single gold piece."
Why so cheap?
Well, glass is free, liquor is easy, and my goats don't take much maintenance.
Also, I imagine it's mildly addictive. So
I wish. No. Unfortunately, it's got kind of the opposite effect. Most people don't want to buy more than one bottle usually because the stuff's strong enough to peel paint. But the great thing about it is the fact that it's really easy to produce, and you can pretty much grab anything and throw it into the bucket, and it'll make the same thing.
Before I buy one, may I sample it?
He pours a little bit more into the glass, about halfway full, and hands it to you and goes, "I recommend one down and one hatch, but if you can't manage it, don't breathe."
All right, bottoms up.
Give me a fortitude save. This is not to say it's poisonous, it's an alcohol.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'll be 24.
You just made the DC, so you do get a good buzz off the one glass as you manage to gulp it down. It is very unpleasant. To describe it like a wild turkey milkshake would be kind of an understatement. Those flavors not really going too well together. It's kind of creamy, it's kind of thick, and it tastes like brown. That's about the best way you describe it at the end of the day.
It's creamy brown.
However,
basically a Mongolian cocktail.
yeah, kind of.
Freaking the fermented mare's milk.
Exactly. Actually, you know, hey, I like History Channel. What can I say? I grew up watching too much of it. And it got weird when I was a teen. So that or aliens. So yeah, no. As you down, I mean, it gives you a good buzz, and you definitely feel a good kick to it. But you're not drunk. But it does hit you.
That's what I needed.
He
I would also
smiles.
like to sample it, but I put it in the fucking bag of spices first.
Oh, except you as you do this,
You
as
got
you pull it out.
mold fucking Fermented milk.
Dude, it comes out as like with like Cajun seasoning around the ring of it, and a lot of salt poured into it, as you can smell it, Floor Snap. It's slightly bubbling now, and you're not sure why.
I wonder if it's even worse. It just, no matter how hard it tried, it just couldn't make it taste better.
Are you gonna drink
I believe in you, legendary frying pan.
As he taps it and downs it, and Floor Snap. The only thing that's good is you don't taste it. It's salty and spicy, and that's about it. It goes down quick. It gives a little bit of a
it's a
bubble.
market improvement.
The only downside is it bubbles a little bit, so you get an aftertaste of spice coming up mostly. It burns a little bit, but beyond that, hey, you don't taste the curdled effect.
I see this as an absolute win compared to what it could have been.
Floor Snap just kind of nods at it, smacks his lips a little bit. The devil takes back the glass and goes, "Now, do you want the complimentary glass with it, or do you just want the bottle?" As he holds up the bottle, instantly, as you see him moving his fingers a little bit as it refills almost to the top.
I toss him a soul coin because he's given me something novel.
Okay.
Oh damn, a whole soul coin.
He kind of takes it happily and hands you one jar and looks over at Azurus and goes, "Would you like one too, sir?"
Sure, why not? I'll also give a soul coin.
He takes it and kind of puts it, kind of bites both of them, and it looks at him and smiles bigly and kind of grabs out the bottle and hands it to you as he smiles and goes, "I hope you enjoy my signature blend for those 2 special bottles since you paid so highly. Only difference is I use the best curdled milk I could find. So," and he kind of looks at you all and goes, "With that, please enjoy the market stalls, and of course, when you're in the city of Veltrix Carnis, please feel free to visit the Velvet Venom's Apothecary. I am one of the extended employees, and we offer even greater brews there."
Good to know.
He nods and goes, and kind of starts to walk away. Go ahead, Floor Snap, sorry.
What was what was Goose?
His race?
Yes.
Give me a knowledge, nature, or a survival check. See if you know.
You said Goose was like 9 feet tall, right?
Correct. He's 9 feet tall and about 300-ish pounds with grayish skin, brown eyes, and ginger hair. However, in this lighting,
Gotcha.
it looks brown.
God, I'm freaking taller than him.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, would you take a knowledge history for a wild goose chase?
Sure. Why not?
Good one.
30.
30. Well, the knowledge history does change a little bit. You don't know his race off the top of your head. However, you'd guess him to be a Gargant, which is a feral Goliath, basically. However, what you would know is that Goose was part of an organization of individuals who hunted magic users, with one of the Morans, one of the sisters of the Moran clan. Secondly, that he was also known to have hunted down the Cryptic Cabal and almost killed them. The original Cryptic Cabal, to be very clear. Lastly, that he is infamously known as the world's greatest monster hunter. He is credited with killing a few minor apex monsters and is on his way to earning the 4th Obentium Talon in the world. Which would basically put him at the top rank of adventurers, for reference. The only other people who have this title are like Big, the Storm Giant who fought in the Civil War, Narrow, and then a group of individuals who just hunt in the Underdark. So.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn to Vicaret and I was like, "Do you know what that goose fellow was? I thought he looked like a Gargan, but you're more learned in current events than I am."
What would I have to roll to positively, actually identify that guy?
Knowledge, nature, survival, or in your case, an intelligence check for what you remember of him, because you guys were told actually what he was. You were also told what his abilities were.
Yeah, because we met him before when we were.
Well, Vicaret didn't meet him at that event when you guys were in the sewers with the
Vicaret
thinger.
wasn't a member yet.
No, yeah, but the tale of that is a very different thing, because that would have been told amongst the Cryptic Cabal of a warning for this guy.
Can I roll a knowledge nature?
Sure.
23.
I'm gonna use another infusion. This is the last infusion of this level that I can use. So 24.
Okay.
Total.
Between the two of you. Alright. So, I will confirm he is a Gargan, which would confirm that he is a feral Goliath, so it just means he has a bit more strength, less intelligence naturally. Secondly, between the two of you, you would recognize that this individual is a mixture of about 7 different classes. None of which any of you have ever seen in character yet. However, he is a ranger monk mix, with a few interests in classes that you'd recognize as giving him advantages for monster hunting specifically. Mostly things that he has to, Vicaret would have remembered that he has to use as a favored enemy mechanically, or in this case, he has to be specifically targeting them. His abilities do not just work in general, as the Vicaret would know from the tales of the Cryptic Cabal. Given they had, their interaction was seeing him take out a level 20 bard with a single punch, I believe it was, that he was hunting. However, they also saw him immediately run away from the fight afterwards, not going after any of the necromancers still in the city, or even the party he was supposedly hunting. Azurus.
Yeah.
Goose is infamously... Well, is your nature for reference, or is it history?
Yeah, mine's his nature.
Perfect, then. Goose is infamously part of one of the few Gargan clans that specifically serves Tanaruk, the god of life. Well, creation, to be more specific. A little bit different of a domain in that situation. What you know of these individuals is that they are well known for being blessed with enhanced abilities and capabilities due to their natural, almost royal knightness. Goose would be the equivalent to Thrag for his people, for reference.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so, be very clear, this is like an antithesis enemy for Floorstaff to one day have to go and actually punch down, and he can take it, clearly.
Yeah.
He is...
Yeah, I heard God of Life is like, oh, that guy's gotta fucking hate me.
Oh, 100%. Lastly, though, notoriously, the Gargans get stupider the stronger they get, is what you would know, Azurus. So, his genuine misunderstanding was legitimate. It was not fake. He literally did not see you guys as an enemy. The man's just a nice, innocent dude. Which, I don't know if that makes you feel any better, but he did not pick up that you were evil. So...
Thank God.
Given his strength, you probably also put him at probably, not the most bright, probably a very average individual other than for his saves. Beyond that, yeah, nothing else would be, clearly known. It'd probably be obvious that he's probably got some sort of sorcerer bloodline given his, family's, status or his position in the, society. I will note one last thing as this, I just got PM'd this. Importantly, normally, Gargans don't leave their home territory because they're kind of hunted by most people due to their primitiveness, so they make good slaves for their strength. It's even weirder for someone of high status who serves the god specifically under them, such as Goose's own position would serve given his power, to leave unless they were exiled for some reason. Beyond that, though, you don't know the full history or culture of these people, just that it's really rare to see impressive individuals of this species out in the world.
I wonder, did he have a skull of another Gargan on him?
No, he
An
did
emperor,
not.
an emperor's skull, maybe.
I will say he has 3 apex monster skulls on him. If that's your question.
Oh, well, you know.
He has
I was hoping for an Emperor Argol, and he's just out and about trying to find.
No. So for what you would have seen when he pulled his hands out, you would have noticed he was wearing a dragon hide plate on him, which that should make you question even more his class mixture. I know I can hear Floor Snap's mind like collecting here as he tries to figure exactly what this guy is. And then where is it? I know. Yes. I have. Yes, he did have 3 skulls on them, but they would not have been identifiable at this point. Go ahead, though.
As Vicarette, with the information that Captain Azuris is providing me and the tales that I've heard and kind of like his setup, can I roll an appraisal check to see if I can identify some of the classes that he might be?
Oh, sure, I'll take that. Or either appraisal or if you have profession mercenary.
And because this is happening within 10 minutes, I can still keep that +4 bonus. 26. That's a low roll for me.
So, you get 3 of his classes. Let me pull up the other one, because I have to actually pull up his doc now. I have his thing, I don't have his class build, because it's like, okay, I just need HP and information for saves, and punching. Because I had a feeling you were going to attack me. Let me pull it up again. Alright, give me a moment, please. So I was wrong. It's not 7 classes. It's 8. Doesn't make it better. So with the appraise check you got, I will let you know he is level 17 currently. He is a mix of wild monk, warrior mage, rage mage. Sorry. And the only other class you get with that role is a battle. That's not right. Give me a second. Let me pull my class list. I put this as battle sorcerer. I know that's not a class. Just give me a second.
Battle sorcerer is a class.
No, it's well, that's a prestige class. That's I don't. I know that's not the one I was referencing.
It is a straight up class. Narapofex has 1 level of battle sorc.
It's an alternate class for sorcerer. You get fewer hit die, or sorry, you get a way bigger hit die, way less spells, and you can cast in light armor.
Yeah, and you also have slightly better base attack bonus progression.
One moment.
So you go from wizard to cleric bab.
War mage. That's the class. There we go. No, I know it wasn't because I was I recognized the notes that of the abilities he has as war mage, so that's why I was sitting here. I know it's not battle sorcerer. I don't know why I wrote that. Now
maybe you took the variant war mage that does charisma instead of intelligence.
No, it's 100% because I have something planned in the background, and so I wasn't paying attention because I'm looking at battle sorcerer right now, and I can tell you I didn't have these features listed. So, but. Yes. So those are the 3 classes you managed to pick up.
I know right off rip one of them. I'm pretty sure.
Not Rage Mage. What?
Oh.
Okay. Here, let me pull it up again. I just closed my sheet. God,
sorry.
No, you're good.
I could have sworn you did say Rage Mage.
No. It's Wild Monk. Warrior Ranger, and then the War Mage. Yeah.
I could have also sworn I heard Rage Mage.
No, he is not a Rage Mage. I have an item that can do the abilities of a Rage Mage. Not on him currently, but I do have one.
Okay. Alright.
Also, I will note, Goose has gone through 3 reclasses through this entire storyline. If you haven't caught on for what I built on, because of different situations and different combats you guys have heard about him in.
I assume he just could do anything and everything, to be honest.
No, that doesn't make sense. My rules run the same as you as players. Go ahead,
though. Vicarette, now that she's cued into this conversation, probably has enough knowledge to know that Vitra is bad news. I'll roll that Arcana check, though.
Yeah.
Definitely know
You met Vitra.
Yeah, Vicarette was around.
You've all met Vitra.
And
well, no, I haven't met Vitra.
Were you not there when she popped in?
Nobody was there.
Yeah, they just narrowly avoided her by getting sent to
What? No, I'm talking. Wasn't she there when you guys went to the house at first and got the item, or was that someone else that popped in? I thought she did.
No, May went home or went back to the house, and Vitra was waiting for her. But we were in
That might have
hell
been it.
by
That
that
might have
point.
been it. Yeah, maybe I'm misremembering my timeline. Okay, fair enough. Then yeah, all right.
But we definitely
no.
know.
Vicaret and May are the only two people in the party who have directly interacted with
Yeah,
Vitra,
that's what we're saying.
because Vicaret specifically left the house because of Vitra in terror.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes, that is correct. So I remember something along those lines. But I will say, Vicarit's met Vitra before because other members of the Cryptic Cabal previously have met Vitra, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Vicaret will be like, there's two other things that you have to take into account. First off, she points to if uh if Azura still has the card out, she'll point to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that's a lot of trouble. That is a person who is scary enough to cause inanimate objects to be afraid of her. Like things that don't have souls or emotions are naturally terrified of her. Um, if he is working for her, we should assume that any conceivable magic item could come into his possession at any given time through means that we cannot possibly know, and that he may use unconventional strategies to use them. Um,
You don't have to tell me that Vitra's a scary motherfucker. I know. We've worked with her daughter.
I miss my drinking buddy.
Here's the thing, though. After
Mm-hmm. Oh.
she is, Vicaret will look at Floor Snap and then think about it for a long moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then say, I wouldn't. If she is on our scent, if she is the one tracking us, I don't think we're going to be able to escape.
Yeah.
Not unless I can create the right items fast enough.
Well, nonetheless, I'm gonna have to talk to her eventually. She has my wife.
Wait to say that for a minute.
What do you mean? Crump is around here somewhere.
No, the water elemental. It's my wife. The one I
Oh, I
love.
thought you and
The one
Crump
who
were
I've
an
been.
item.
No, no. Despite you spreading horrible rumors about me and Crump, everything I've done for my entire life up to this point, since I've lost her, was to find her again.
That's. I would
Yeah,
say
okay.
the cut scene in the background of like the times Azurus and Crump were just hanging out, having a good time, cute music in the background. As Crump constantly tries to flirt with Azurus and fails every time as he's friend zone, not realizing that Azurus has already had his heart taken by another.
Is every day, every waking minute, second, I've heard cries of pain and suffering echo in my mind. It is my one mission in my life is to find her and reunite. And now I find that she's with her. So I'm gonna have to do something. I know I can't fight her yet, if ever. I have to figure out a way to get my love back.
A merchant kind of standing off to the sides and like kind of wipes away a tear and goes, "It's so beautiful, man."
Um, being as that Vitra is a hag, it will probably be a weird bargain.
No
One
doubt in my
possible
mind.
not be upfront.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite familiar with hags.
Zer's kind of looks down at himself, and looks back at you as he says this.
I was raised by them. Huh. I'm very familiar how hags operate.
As you lot kind of take this moment conversing on this, the last page kind of pops his head out and looks over and goes, "If I may interject an idea here,
Yes, grandson.
if I was in the situation where my heart had been taken from me, not to say that I'd ever fall in love with someone, that just seems like an ill-fated decision. No offense, Azul." She kind of like lightly chuckles at that as he thirsts off.
Very funny.
But if I was going to make a deal with a being that I can't fight, I would find out whatever they value most, naturally, and I assume you've thought as much. But what if we consider looking into things down here about her and learning what we can, and then using that to our your advantage? Of course, any information you gain would not be something I'd be upset about from the learning and holding over the great archivist's head. As he kind of gives a slight smile to the sky, kind of almost daydreaming something in his head for a moment before he shakes his head and looks back at you and goes, "So, why not, instead of hunting the big oaf, let him go about his random bouts, and we focus on finding your weaknesses to the one who holds your lover? I hear hags are more willing to negotiate when they feel threatened."
Yes, I agree. I don't think we'll be able to fight that gentleman anytime soon, and the necklace will find its way to Mitra nonetheless.
He nods. "That, or, as he holds his hand out, sticky fingers and all." As he holds out the exact teardrop necklace in his hand and looks at you and gives a smile.
What the fuck?
Sleight of hand, creep, motherfucker.
See, never underestimate my ability to understand and spot raw talent. Good job,
Hand,
grandson.
what was that?
It's a good job, grandson.
He smiles as he hands it over to Azurus and goes, "My advice over down here is, let's look. Books are useful, people are useful, and there's got to be someone who's died down here that had a bout with Vitra and can at least tell us what not to do."
Yes, books are going to be very important. Eyewitness accounts,
He nods.
as much knowledge as possible.
Of course, I could always call it the Dragon Knights.
He nods at that and goes, "I don't know what a dragon knight is, but dragons are quite capable individuals.
Oh, the Cloud Knights. They're made of bones of dragons. Surely you've heard of those
Kind of
guys.
stops and looks at you and goes, "That is a sick fucking joke, I hope."
No, they're almost entirely immune to magics.
Actually, it's not the bones of dragons, Vicaret says. It's the bones of Dracoliches.
I thought they were technically Dracoliches.
Just kind of shrugs that off and goes, "Okay, let's focus on it. So you're going to want to look into the her coven and her daughters. My advice is we start there and then look into any information about how she gained her power. And if that doesn't work," as he shrugs and goes, "we learn how to get one of those items of legend that they used to speak of, buried in the deep tombs, and, well, we seal her in one." And looks between the three of you and goes, "Sound like an idea?"
Look, I'm always up for adventure. You don't have to talk me into it. But Plan D is, of course, I can just call down the Cloud Knights and have that deal with them. A little bit of hag speech in the wrong area for too long, and they just kind of show up.
No,
Well, the hag that we're dealing with is probably the strongest of them all.
Oh, that doesn't fucking matter.
he nods at that.
I don't want to split hairs over your strategy, Floor Snap, but didn't May say something previously about how Vitra was studying how to destroy the Cloud Knights and that it was one of her goals?
Yes. But, well, put it frankly, if she had figured it out, it would make a lot more waves.
No. I don't know. The issue is that, see,
Mhm.
Floor Snap, if you had a disagreement with, say, the rest of your species that was very dramatic, and considered them enemies, but you weren't allowed to directly fight them, and you were, say, the only one of your species that is not threatened by something that is a threat to the rest of your species, would you immediately get rid of that threat to you? Would you keep your trump card in the back pocket and use that to move against the rest of your species?
I don't know if you've noticed, my approach to threats is fairly straightforward. Not to say I'm not capable of guile, I just never see the need for it.
And maybe that might be exactly what we need to fight this one.
Just kind of stands in between the two of you, kind of not looking at this and looking at the necklace, saying it as he puts it on. As the three of you kind of take a second and think, Nora kind of watching the Devil Folk merchants going by and everything. Last page kind of nods at that and kind of looks over at Azurus and goes, "Sounds like we have a goal. Off to the
We
city
have
of
a
Lust."
heading.
As he nods and you get kind of cracks the thing, and you hear in the background Laura go, "Shit!" There's suddenly a loud stumble, and a bit of slime kind of flying out the front as the wagon tent kind of opens for a moment, and you just see Wara sit back up. He is normally poofy maned, now completely gelled back from the ooze.
Ah, poor guy.
And that is where we'll cut to black. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed today, and we will see you on the next one. It is fucking hot, and man, I have bad gas, so we're ending. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.